Hey gang, it's Paul with Stud Pack. Welcome back to our channel. In our previous video, you saw Jordan and I build all the RTA cabinets for our kitchen remodel, including this one, which we had to modify. This is a base cabinet. It was 24 inches deep. This manufacturer only makes 24-inch deep base cabinets. We needed one 14.5 inches deep. And in that video, we didn't have the drawers built because I didn't have the hardware and I had to get a game plan. So I went to my local cabinet hardware company and I bought these 14-inch soft close drawer glides. Now the way these work, if my width on the face frame is 15, my drawer needs to be 14 because each one of these takes up 1/2 inch. So I took the parts from the old drawer, cut the dovetails off to get the box size that I wanted. I wanted it as deep as I could. And then I just pocket screwed it together, cut the bottom out so it would fit, and it works great. And when we put the front on there, nobody will ever know that we modified that drawer. The other thing we noticed when we had the shelf in here, it was kind of tippy because our holes were towards the middle. So I got our template that we used. I cut off part of it so that the holes were closer to the back of the cabinet. And I used my 5mm bit, 1, 2, 3, 4. Flipped it around, 1, 2, 3, 4. And now the shelf is supported out here instead of here, and it's very solid now. So this thing is completely done. We'll reattach these when we get the hardware. But for right now, let's head inside and show you today's project. Alrighty gang, today's project, Jordan and I are gonna start ripping up these old floors. We put it off as long as we can for a couple of reasons. The main one is, we wanted this to be as nice as we could leave it for the owners so they weren't walking on all this old glue and concrete. But they gotta come out because next week, our electrician's gonna show up. Finally, we've been waiting on him. You guys know we've been waiting on him. So he's gonna be here next week, get all the wiring done. Then we can have the framing and wiring inspected. Then Jordan and I can start flying on this thing. We're gonna insulate, hang drywall, tape and mud, paint, start hanging cabinets, tile, floor, get this thing put back together for our owners. So this floor right here, it's an oak laminate flooring and it's glued down. And this glue is pretty brittle. Why don't we give it a test to see how easy it comes up? We've already done a couple of pieces and we think it's gonna come up pretty easy. We're gonna use our pneumatic scraper. You've seen us use this on tile. I don't know that I've ever used it on wood. So let's give it a shot here. Here's a short piece at the end. All right, I think that's gonna be fine. We don't know about the glue yet. We're gonna get up all the wood. We may use that for the glue, but I think I'll probably go rent a machine to tear this glue up. So right now, let's get all this furniture out of here, hang some plastic, and start scraping up this floor. Alrighty gang, you saw me in the time lapse hanging out in this corner. You're probably like, what's going on over there? That dude's slacking off. Well, there's a spot right here and a spot over there where it's a different glue or an additional glue. It was probably loose, and then the flooring contractor came back later and had to inject some glue under there. And look at that stuff.
That looks like a beehive or something, dude.
Nasty. But it's super strong. That came up okay, but this is giving me a fight, so I'm gonna keep working on that. Hopefully it doesn't go all the way down the hallway because we have to remove all that too. And my scraper's working good. I'm really using it as a pry bar The pneumatic function I really don't need on this. It's coming up so easy, but I do need that pneumatic scraping function right here to get through that glue. So I'm gonna keep working on this, and then hopefully that comes up easy. Otherwise, we got a 1 hour job turning into a 1 day job. And I've fought floors like this before. I've had to take I'm stuck to the floor. I've had to take a circular saw and cross cut the floor and take it up in little pieces. It's been that difficult. But fingers crossed, we can get this little section done and peel this up and get out of here. Let's keep going. All right, gang, that was super easy. You never know what you're in for when you're demoing a floor, whether it's wood or tile. Sometimes it's days and sometimes it's hours. So this took us right at an hour, even with videoing and everything. Super easy. We only had those 2 tough areas where we had a different glue right there and right there. And like I said, hopefully there's none of that in the hall, because that's going to be a pain because there's nowhere to work in a narrow hallway.
Yeah, when you were busting it up, Dad, it kind of reminded me. It looked like a cannonball hitting the broadside of like a pirate ship or something.
And the wood just split.
Right, that's what it kind of reminded me of. It was like I was in the midst of a battle.
There you go. We were kind of, and the battle continues.
Right.
So our next battle is this parquet, but check out the glue right here on the old laminate oak strip flooring. I actually used the scraper right here, and it did a decent job of taking off that glue. It is so dry and brittle, it's coming right up. But that's a tiny blade. It would take us a long time to do this whole room. So we're actually gonna go run a machine tomorrow and show you a different way to do this in case you don't have a scraper and in case you don't wanna spend hours scraping up glue. On this parquet, I can tell it's a different glue. I think it's gonna be a little more difficult to get up, but why don't we move this furniture and give it a shot.
Let's do it. Dude, that was like the easiest row anyway.
It was. That was very easy to run. Ooh, that was a good workout for a Friday afternoon, huh, Jordan?
I agree. You got those protein shakes in the fridge?
I didn't bring them today.
All right, we'll go get some after this.
All right. So the little parquet area in the foyer took us 45 minutes. Remember, this took us about an hour. And I'm going to give this on a scale of 1 to 10. I'm going to give that a 1. Jordan gives it a 2.
I mean, I could give it a 1.
Yeah. Based on what my 10 is, that's a 1.
Okay.
And then I'm going to give this a 3 or 4. What do you think?
5 or 6.
All right. So my worst flooring removal nightmare was glued down cypress on a concrete slab in a dining room, 13 cats living in there. The cypress was soaked with cat urine. I had to cross-cut the boards and remove them in little pieces. It took me 2 days wearing a respirator. It was horrible. And as a matter of fact, I might give that project an 8 or a 9 if I had Jordan with me, but he wasn't even living in our town yet. He was living in Texas. My daughter actually came by that project, did a little Snapchat video of me doing that floor. Jordan saw it and said, man, Dad needs some help and Dad needs a YouTube channel. So that whole flooring issue with that glued down cypress kind of started the whole thing. So I guess it was a good thing in the long run. Here's a piece of that parquet. I thought you'd like to see that. It was actually pulling up the concrete. Look at that.
Yeah,
that glue was so...
You can see all the little, it looks like the moon.
Yep. I don't think it's bad enough where we have to patch it. We're gonna have to see when we get our new flooring how thick it is and all that. But we are ready to start removing this glue. Tomorrow morning, we're gonna go rent a machine that's gonna scrape this up. We can't wait to show it to you. So it's time to go home, cool off, grab a cold one, and we'll see you tomorrow. Alrighty guys, this is the next day. We're gonna scrape up this glue today. We rented a 17-inch floor machine from our rental yard. Locally, this rents for $57 a day. And then we also picked up a carbide floor scraping attachment that rents for $55 a day locally. This thing is 15 inches in diameter. I'll show you some close-ups. That's who makes it. And it's got these cool carbide teeth. They're kind of floating here on these springs. Attaching it couldn't be any easier. No tools required. You've got these 3 lugs right here that fit in where I'm pointing, and then it locks and holds it in place. So let me get these lined up. There we go. There we go. All right, we're about ready to go. I'm gonna go ahead and unlock that, put the handle at about a 45-degree angle, whatever is comfortable for you. Lock it back down. All right, let me grab my glasses and dust mask, and we'll get going. All right, I'm really liking that right there. Let's go try that other glue in the foyer. All right, we did the foyer, just took a few minutes. Now the owners did say that this is original to this house, so that glue's been down there 40 years. It's still a little gummy. It didn't come up completely, but it is pretty smooth right here. And for the flooring that we're gonna put down, it's gonna be fine. Any inconsistencies in this glue or in this concrete is gonna be fine, because remember, the floor is gonna have a pad as well. I could hear the carbide teeth catching on this concrete where it chipped up when we removed the parquet flooring. So I didn't want to spend too much time and risk chipping those carbide teeth or further damaging the concrete. So we're going to leave that alone. And I have plenty of control on this machine, as you saw. It's just a slight up to go right and a slight push down to go left. Very easy to control. Now over here where we tried it on the glue under the oak laminate floor, we're down to bare concrete. Look at that, that's perfect. So we're gonna move our furniture and hit this area. Not sure how long it's gonna take, but we'll let you know at the end of the time lapse. Here we go.
Come on.
It gets very little touch. All right, gang, we're all done, but why don't we check on this door frame over here that Jordan hit with the machine on his very first time using it.
It's all right.
It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a rubber bumper on that thing.
Thank goodness. Why'd you let me start right there, man? I could have started in the middle and gotten the hang of it.
You know, I almost told you to move to the middle, but I thought we might get a pretty funny shot of you on the first time with that machine, and sure enough, you hit the wall. So.
Man, you're a pretty good cameraman, huh?
I got my moments. But gang, that machine worked great. That was an hour and a half to do this whole floor. Would have taken us a little less time if we'd have had a bigger broom. You saw us using those little Barbie house brooms, right? Cleaning up. But we usually don't sweep up an area this big. But we got it done. And if you come over here to the perimeter, you can see that that machine will get to about within 2 inches of the edge. So once we vacuum this, we'll probably come back here with that pneumatic scraper and get this perfect. Because what we're doing here, we are prepping this for the floor. Just like we prep for drywall and just like we prep for paint and cabinets and everything else that we do, we are prepping for our new floor. We want to make sure this thing is as flat as we can get it and as smooth as we can get it. Because we're going to be using a click lock system of flooring. We don't want any issues with that going together. And remember, over here we had carpet. So we had bare concrete, smooth concrete, and over there we had tile. So we wanted it all to match. Now you notice right here, we haven't done the hallway yet. A couple of reasons, but we are gonna remove all that laminate and all the glue in that hallway. I kind of wanted to get a feel for this machine first in this big area before I go in that hallway, because we have a lot of brand new carpet in the bedrooms. I don't want to mess that up. Still thinking about the best way, how to tackle that. May just make one pass down the middle, stay away from the doorways, and then do it by hand. But this machine does a great job, as you can tell. Go to your local rental center, tell them what you're doing, and they'll recommend the right blade. Like we said at the beginning of the video, these are carbide teeth. They make one that has diamond, not really teeth, more like diamond impregnated scrapers if you have to get off thin set. All right, so that took 2 days for us to get all the wood floors out of here and to scrape up that glue and clean this place up. It was a great way to spend the last couple of days because it's been storming here for like a week.
I can't even wash my car, dude.
I know, it's been raining every single day. I think we've had over a foot of rain here in the south. It's been crazy. So we're super excited that the floors are done and demoed. We're 1 day closer to our electrician getting here. Our new sub panel arrives Monday, and then they're here next week to wire this place. Then Jordan and I can insulate, get the drywall up, and keep this project moving. So we know you guys have a bunch of glue on your like button after watching this video. Go get that scraper, scrape it off for them. Make sure you smash that like button for us, get down below in the comments, leave us a comment, ask a question, subscribe if you haven't already. Jordan and I would super appreciate that, and we'll see you on the next one.